Now let's talk a bit about Nairobi, because Nairobi has been ranked 5th in terms of number of dollar millionaires in Africa in a report by research firm New World Wealth and Henley and Partners. The latest Henley Global Citizens Report, which tracks private wealth migration trends worldwide, shows Nairobi has 5,000 high net worth individuals. 5,000 high net worth individuals with at least $1 million in their bank accounts. So we have 4 in the studio. I'm kidding. Woo! Okay, so I mean, the people who I know have acquired their wealth, a few of them, it's not legal because you can't track the trajectory.
Exactly.
You know the way I'm like, oh, Cindy worked here at this station and then did this and then did that, and then now she started an organization or a business, and that's what catapulted her to becoming a dollar millionaire.
Yeah.
You don't see that much, quite.
Yeah. I'm not about to say about, you know, questioning how people got their wealth. But when you live in a city where there are over $5,000 millionaires, but there are not so much production companies, then you wonder where this money is coming from. You wonder where, you know, the comparison, the economies of scale. You can't compare the money these people are holding versus the rest of the population and how it compares, like Wajuna, Wachini. Also, it was just interesting that we are the 5th. Nairobi the 5th.
I see it.
South Africa, we understand, has diamonds.
Of course.
Egypt, you know, they have tourism. Nigeria has oil. Yes, we've got, you know, we've got a bit of oil. You could say we've got a bit of, you know, this and that. But nonetheless, the one thing that we don't have, I think, is accountability. We've got so many people driving very fancy cars, but if you ask them what they do for a living, they're businesses, and they're not in the chain of production. They don't produce things in trillions, in tons. And you're like, how is it that you have all this money? What breaks my heart is that it is a true reflection of what's happening in our country in terms of the gap between the rich and the poor. Whenever you have people who have so much money and you can't account for how they get that money, you end up having people who don't have a lot and they're struggling to just break the glass ceiling. It's been circulated all over the place. I don't know if you've seen it. Every 3 years, KRA adjusts the inflation rate, and now everything is going up. We've already experienced it, not only with the fuel, but with the electricity tariffs going up, and stuff is just going up and up and up and up. And it makes you wonder, who's cushioning these guys at the bottom from this increase in lifestyle and you know, public debt. So it's something that, you know, most countries are like, yeah, we've got rich people, but for us, it means we have more poor people.
Agreed. I 100% agree with Cindy and with Kwach. And I think even Cindy reminded me, there's a TikToker in the US who does these things where he stops people driving really fancy cars. And he's like, hey, nice car, what do you do for a living? And they tell him, you know, I'm a banker, I started my this, I'm an entrepreneur. If you tried that in Nairobi, what you would get is a rungu in your face, because a lot of people,
because it's a lie.
Because it's a big lie.
It's a lie.
But also really interesting facts about that study was, compared to the same period last year, the number of dollar millionaires in Kenya has dropped by 7%. And traditionally, in times of strife, recession, even the mortgage crisis in the US, what happens to the top is they get a lot richer, and then the bottom and the middle are where the problems are. But here, if it's so thick that we're also losing the number of dollar millionaires is also dropping, it's thick. It's Uji thick.
But, you know, but also maybe just to add on what both of you have said is, you know, they say that the richest, how you know that the societal values of a country, you take what the richest do. You will know what that country rewards. So that if your richest people are scholars, if your richest people are producers, if your richest people are whatever it is that they are, if they are pastors, or if they are, then you know what the value chain of that country is. You know what you reward as a country. So that you don't waste your time in education kwa nchi yenye ina word wash.
Okay.